no matter what you do for a living, lender, real estate agent, CPA, financial advisor, divorce attorney, whatever it is. I don't care if you work at Google, you're in a cubicle, you're W-2, you're self-employed. It doesn't matter. All of us, for our business and to really know our purpose behind why we do what we do to make a paycheck, it's so important to know what our business soul story is and where we came from and why we're doing this, how we're serving our community. So let me tell you, before I even knew what a business soul story was or a business story, all I knew is I was 20, 21 years old. I was married. Why? I don't know what the heck my parents were thinking, but that's okay. Live and learn, right? I was married and I was driving to the office in Danville, to my Western Heritage office that I was at for like 7 years. And I lived in Danville down the street. And I was driving there and I was thinking, I want to do mortgage loans. I was a processor. I don't want to be W-2'd. I didn't want to punch in and punch out. We had a little time clock. God, this was back in like 1999, 2000 or something. I'm showing my age now. But all I knew is that I wanted financial freedom, meaning I wanted to make money. Yes, I became a loan officer because I wanted to make money. I don't think a lot of people get into business because they were like, I want to help families and I want to do this. That's something that comes with time, which I'll get to that, with growing your purpose and learning about yourself, what you want, and then what you want for your families and for your community of families. So we'll get to that in a second. But at first, all I knew is I didn't want to punch in and out, and I wanted to make money. So I went to my boss and I was like, hey, Jerry, I want to get in on this loan officer stuff. I feel like I can do it. So forced me to get my license. I think I failed like 2 or 3 times and finally got it because I wasn't studying. I wasn't doing the work, right? I wanted something, but I wasn't willing to take the action, to take the aligned action to get to my goal. So anyhow, what I realized through that, now looking back, is that I'm a free spirit. That was one of my biggest things is when I was married, is he finally realized that I'm a free spirit. I just like to go out and drink and dance and go have fun. And I didn't mean any harm, but like I was just a wild woman because of what was just kind of built in me all along. I never wanted to be confined to a cubicle. I never wanted to be stuck in the rent cycle. So I bought a home right away when I was in my early 20s. And all that stuff kind of just started to morph into like a bigger and bigger purpose on how I show up. So we'll get to that in a second. So of course, I started making money in the mortgage business. I had like 5 houses by the time I was 25, right? My neighbor next door thought I was a dancer, literally. So I'm in Danville, California. We're by the San Francisco, by the city. And she thought I was a dancer because I had no kids, no husband. I had a fat BMW, big house with the pool. It was like $1.25 million when I was 25 or 26 years old. I'm pretty sure I was 25. And I had like a bunch of them on NAGAM loans. So yes, I'm a free spirit. Yes, I wanted to make money. I also thought money grows on trees. And yes, money does flow easily and frequently, but I thought I'll just keep pulling out equity. I'll just keep buying houses. Well, I learned a tough lesson about not having a 30-year fixed loan, right? So I ended up having to let go of some of those, moved into a different house in San Ramon, and I started to really value the dollar. And I also started to really value, yes, I wanted financial freedom. Yes, I am a free spirit. Yes, I wanted to make my own hours, but I know for sure that going forward, my clients were getting a fixed loan no matter what. NAGAM loans went away anyways, but no interest only. Now I understand the value of owning a home. Moving my baby and my husband at the time, because I had that home for a few years, right? Sadly, I know what it felt like packing up my kids' like crib and taking down her chandelier and moving it to the other house, and what that pain felt like, because I didn't value having a 30-year fix. I thought money grew on trees because I got into the mortgage industry when NAGAM loans and all that stuff was it was insanely popular. And trust me, it wasn't because there was bad lenders out there. We were being taught from the top that, oh, well, it's just going to keep appreciating. Recast, what's a recast? We were never taught about what a recast loan was. So I gave myself NAGAM loans, not even realizing that in 2 years or 3 years, it was actually going to recast. And my payment went from like $2,500 to like $7,000 a month. And I couldn't sustain some of those. So there's an important lesson that I learned of valuing your dollars and not going buck wild in the real estate industry. I also realized how much money you can make when you do it wisely, that your home can be an investment, not a liability. I became a way better loan officer. I became smarter real estate investor. I became a better advisor to my clients to make sure that they don't have to pack up, move their kids, and move to a different house, just like I had to do, right? Luckily, we own multiple properties still, and we were able to keep some of them. But that was very, very painful time for me. So as I went through this process, I started realizing I have a purpose here to help families, to make sure that they're never house poor, that they can go to Target if they want and buy, spend $200 wildly just because for fun with their kids and buy throw pillows on accident. Guilty, by the way, of doing things like that. But I couldn't afford that during that time because I was literally made myself house poor. Nothing was more painful than calling clients and having them not answer the phone because lines were disconnected. Cell phones weren't like the only method of getting a hold of your client. Landlines were actually a pretty big thing back then. So nothing was more painful. So I came through, I stuck it out in 2008. I became stronger, better, wiser for myself, for my family, and for the families that I was helping. Then I went to the big bank and there was a refi boom, and I started grabbing that because the people that were rule followers, people like my mom that would never get an AGAM loan, she always has 30-year fix or 15-year fix or whatever on her houses. And she was the type of people that I was refinancing. So then I started to really value the money. I started to understand how it worked. And mind you, by then I was maybe 29, 30 years old. And I had went through the whole 10-year period of pain, suffering, good times, bad times, just like anything, such as life. But I really, really learned, I honed in what my business soul story was. It was, yes, I thought I got into the business. I could make my own hours and make a bunch of money and buy a bunch of real estate. When in fact, I could do that while serving a huge purpose. And now I'm able to reach the masses through videos, obviously something like this, YouTube's, my LinkedIn, my different platforms, my CRM, the people, the students that I coach to help them level up and be better mortgage lenders, the families that I've helped over the years. I've helped thousands of people get into homes on safe loans, making sure they're not house poor, going through their debt to income ratio, reminding them that, hey, we don't debt service you for daycare bills, or if you need to get all new tires on your car or oil changes, we don't debt service you for that. So I actually have conversations with my clients to make sure that we build that in to make them not make the same mistakes that I made when I had all these houses and I thought money grew on trees. So now I come from a place of abundance, from a place of service and not selling, from a place of not being selfish where I just want the BMW and I want all these houses just to say I have it. Now I invest my money wisely where I'm in real estate, where I know that I'm safe and I'm looking at it and treating it as an investment, not a liability. So I ask you, what is your business soul story? What's the reason why you're doing your job? Because if you have no purpose behind it, you're not going to love it. It's going to be real hard for you to authentically do your job. And it's going to be hard for you to actually get that abundance where law of attraction sends you that money back. So let me give you a few things. I broke through my money blocks. I broke through my money trauma while I was healing myself. I was helping other families. I've been in the business over 25 years now. So I've done a lot of things right. But as I'm mentioning now, I've done some things wrong. But I blasted through those money blocks. We all have money blocks. We all have money trauma. I don't care if you have millions and millions of dollars. There's somewhere where you're blocked, or you could even get even more abundance, or sometimes you put yourself into that scarcity or their lack mentality. You got to pull yourself out of it and move that quantum leap into a different lifeline of having money and having that abundance. I blasted through my limiting beliefs. I thought I wasn't a good loan officer back then. Thought I was a bad mom, a bad wife. I was bad with money. I had all these belief systems that I built around that time in my lending history. And all I wanted to do was just be a free spirit. But I had to go through those struggles so I can show up better for myself and my family and for the people that I help. I was a little bit more unorganized, right? My ADD brain, I was unorganized. I got my mind right. I started working on my mind so heavily, my work ethic. I busted through 2008. I was doing first-time homebuyer seminars, calling realtors, meeting with people, doing public speaking. I was going to the bank, learning a whole system, planting seeds, working my butt off till midnight. filling out reports, because the big bank, I had never had to do that before in the lending industry. I was at the big bank where they taught me kind of like that corporate mentality and that structure that I carried on and brought with me. I learned a lot at the big bank. It was a struggle. It was tough, but man, they saved my life. I built up a nice 401k. I got profit sharing, all kinds of great stuff. So no pain, no gain, right? But I had to go through those struggles. And you're going through these things. If you're going through something right now in your business, if your money ain't right, and know the economy is a tough time right now, people are stuck in the rent cycle, but they can't afford to get out of it. They don't know how to problem solve. That's where I come in. That's where people like me who have been through these battles and these struggles personally, professionally, can actually now show up for the community and reach the masses and tell our authentic business story so we can help. I mean, if anybody is feeling like I'm helping right now and speaking to you, that's the message that I want to bring, is identifying, like, take a few minutes after you listen to this and jot down like some of your pain points, some of your struggles. One of my students in Ignite, my 12, I'm a mortgage coach, like I said, as well. One of my students, we did kind of like a business soul story meditation and a look back to see, where did you come from? Why did you get into this business? And before we even got there, one of the Divorce Billman, she teaches business soul story, and she taught me this. She did a meditation on going back, like, what did you love to do as a kid? And one of my students, she said, I was the one that was making little things and putting it in the wagon and going door knocking and selling things. She had that entrepreneurial spirit and mind from a very, very young age. She already knew that she wanted to make money doing something that was not W-2, that it was all commission. She didn't even realize it. So that was part of, like, that's why she got drawn to this lending industry, because she could make her own hours. But then you fast forward to some of the battles and struggles, which obviously I'm not saying her name, but we won't get into. She went through some serious struggles to where it brought her to a point where she had to move constantly. And her parents, her mom that was raising her, was always struggling for money and renting, and she was stuck in the rent cycle. And it really gave her so much purpose now. Now, you better believe she just closed a loan for her daughter, and her daughter's boyfriend got them into a cute condo. She's making sure that she's not repeating that cycle of life that she went through. So you better believe that there's some serious purpose now that she's gained through her soul story and brought that into her business to create bigger purpose that she has now in her career. So if you are in HR and you're W-2, it doesn't matter. Why are you doing that? There's humans behind every single company, behind every single desk that you're leading, that you're guiding. Doing videos, if you're HR and talking about, enrollment benefits, why it's so important. A lot of HR people are looked at as the people that onboard you and hire you, or they fire you, or they cut your paychecks. If you're in HR, put a human behind that. Go out, speak to the masses on how you're serving your company, what message you're bringing to the world, why you're in that line of work. If you don't have a why behind your business, you're in deep trouble. You better find it out now, or else you're just living most of your life Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or whatever your hours are, and you're not loving it. There's two reasons why people don't take action, and there's reasons why people don't love their job. The main reason is because they don't have a clear vision of what their why is. They don't know what their purpose is behind their job. So I encourage you to find out what it is, why you do it, why you love doing it, how you serve, not sell, and go share that message with your community. We all have a purpose. We all have a message. If we still are on this earth breathing, then that means that we're here for a reason. It's here because we have air in our lungs, because we still have a message to give. Start using your voice. When you start using your voice and telling your story, it's actually very healing, and you're making an impact on a lot of people in your world that you may not even be knowing. So there's probably going to be thousands of people that are going to watch this message that I kind of just came up with on the fly. And it really, the reason why I wanted to do it on the fly like this is because I was thinking about this morning of, what's my why? Going deeper. Yes, my why is my kids. My why is keeping the lights on this house. Buying more. A lake house is on my vision board that I want to buy during the summer. But it goes so much deeper than that for people outside of my family, people outside of my neighbors at the lake house. This is for thousands of people that need to hear this message, that are struggling Monday through Friday, hate Mondays, don't wish your life away to Friday. That was one of the biggest pieces of advice that my mom got, that she shared with me when I was a newborn. She was working, and somebody said, Chris, stop wishing your life away to Friday. And my mom has told me that, and I absolutely love that. If you feel like it's a Monday through Friday battle and you wake up every single Monday and you're like, oh my God, just get me to Saturday, that's no way to live, right? Most heart attacks happen Monday, I think, between the hours of like 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. because you start thinking about that stress. What problems did you leave on the table on Friday? That is no way to live. So take 15 minutes after you listen to this or watch it. Do a jot of some notes of where you came from, what struggles, what battles you had, what you overcome, social proof, what problems that you've solved for clients over the years. I don't care if you've been in the industry for 1 year or 100 years. It doesn't matter, because we are problem solving. All you have to be is a chapter ahead. And if you're a lender watching this, all you have to be is a chapter ahead. We forget how much we know as lenders and how much community that we can share, how much we can share with our community and our message. So I hope that was good. I hope that was what you needed to hear today. So go out there, make an impact, make it your job to communicate to the masses and not just one-to-one, do it one-to-many. So I'll see you on